Hey, this is Dr. Schroeder with this week's video introduction to week number 8 of our course in Nursing Theory and Professional Roles. And we're down to our final week. This is our last week of class. Covered a lot of information in this class. This class is a little bit unique in that we do touch on a lot of different areas. We started off in class talking about this whole idea of nursing as a profession, and what does it really mean to be a profession? And of course, at the time, uh, there was a big part of the discussion at the time was like, how could anybody ever question that nursing is a real profession or not? And hopefully through the class we've just touched on and discussed several aspects of those things that make a vocation a true profession. We talked about nursing theory and the theoretical concepts of nursing. We talked about the concept of leadership and the concept of professional organizations and how they are also important in helping us to understand what nursing is all about. And the last couple of weeks we've been focusing on and talking about culture and the role of culture and dealing with different cultural groups and how we address the need of cultural groups. It's an important part of nursing. This week we're going to continue the discussion into talking about cultural misunderstandings, and the discussion question is going to ask you to talk a little bit about maybe a cultural misunderstanding that you've had. How did you deal with that? How did you cope with that? How did you deal? And so that's going to be the focus of our final week of discussion. Very, very important. Remember that the discussions this week are that we're in the final week of class, so everything has to wrap up by Friday. I have extended your week 8 journal. You have one journal due this week, and this goes all the way back to week 1, if you remember. In week 1, you were asked to start a journal, or to make an appointment, rather, to talk to your academic advisor about your plan for identifying your preceptor as you move on through the program. That's going to be an important part when you get to nursing leadership. And we just want to make sure that you're on track for that you're able to be on track once that time comes. So this is going to be that a little bit of a report on the interview that you've had, or your plan for getting your interview done. That interview is done by the end of the second class, which I think is probably this class for most of you. So that is going to be due by Thursday of this week. The discussion questions are going to be due, the initial response to the discussion questions are due on Tuesday. All discussion needs to be wrapped up by Thursday at midnight, and final grading is going to be completed on Friday. I anticipate that I should have pretty much all the grades done probably by sometime late on Friday evening, I think. If it's going to be later than, well, I don't think it'll be later than that. I think that as long as everybody gets everything in, everything should be wrapped up by Friday night, so the final grades can be posted by then. The grading for this week is your presentations. The discussion question for this week flows in many ways from that presentation that you did. And the presentation that I'll be reviewing is, of course, the one where you've talked about cultural groups and how do you address the needs of a cultural group. So I look forward to reviewing those presentations through the week. Again, everything should be wrapped up by Friday. And it has been my pleasure and my blessing to be your instructor. So I will basically leave it as that. For those of you who celebrate the holidays or that have a holiday tradition, may you have a blessed holiday season. For those of you that don't have a holiday tradition, except maybe the church or the NFL, well, I hope that your team wins. I hope that you have a wonderful little winter break. And I look forward to hopefully seeing you all again, or seeing many of you again in a future class. I do teach some of the research and statistics courses, as well as some of the nursing leadership and education courses as well. If you have any questions, always feel free to go ahead and let me know. And I believe that's it. So I look forward to participating with you this one last week of class. If you have not done so, please make sure that you get that end of course survey completed. Those are important for we instructors. It's important for me personally because, of course, my contract depends on your feedback, and also the quality of the classes depends on your feedback too. Unless I'm getting feedback from you, I don't know what to make better. So I really do cherish that feedback. And And so I look forward to reviewing that. I bid you all a happy holidays, a wonderful Christmas, and a happy new year, and I'll see you in the discussion forums.